Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time we finished off, recruiting all of the child characters, and this time, well, I promised last time we'd be moving on with the main story. Sadly, something kinda came up. And I don't mean a ton of Annas disappearing and reappearing. What I mean is, I'm going to look at this support list and holy crap, that's a lot of support. Basically, I've got so many supports here that I basically just ended up deciding, you know what, I'm going to make an entire support episode. Because, well, if I tack these all on to the start of the next video, it would be way too long. What that did mean, though, was I was able to actually go ahead and grind Jerome up to level 20 in skirmishes, because, you wouldn't be missing anything. So I have him at level 20, and he can actually promote now. Also, if you look at his stats are pretty much they're almost better than what Shersh's are now, and he's not even promoted yet, so... Yeah, the child characters that you recruit later in the game, they tend to have higher stats because their parents started off with higher stats. But the question here is what to promote him to. Just like Shersh, he can promote to either Wyvern Lord or Griffin Rider. Griffin Rider being more balanced but restricted to one weapon, while Wyvern Lord has much better strength and defense, and can use lances, but is a little bit weaker in the speed department, as well as skill. Now, normally I would go with Wyvern Lord immediately, but someone in the comments in an earlier video actually said something interesting. Jerome wanted to release Minerva. He came back from the future specifically to release Minerva so she can be free. In some of Jerome's death quotes, he also expresses gratitude that Minerva can finally be free. So, really, him getting a new mount and releasing Minerva, in a way it actually feels in character to him, and it would give me a chance to show off what Griffin Rider actually looks like in battle, so... we're promoting him to Griffin Rider. Also, it means that he won't get redundant skills, because he's already learned a skill from Wyvern Lord. So, yeah. Let's just hope we can afford to pay this Griffin, but it's Griffin Rider time. Yes, abandoning Minerva for greater power, though he's not technically abandoning her because he still mentions her in his level up quotes. And now he is a disorientating bobbing up and down thing. But if you look at his armor closely, you'll see that he still keeps his unique color palette as a Griffin Rider, if you can get a good look at it while he's bobbing up and down here. Yeah, Jerome always has unique black armor. He only works in black, and sometimes very, very dark grey, but mostly just black. And speaking of Jerome, he has C supports with both his parents, so let's go ahead and do those to kickstart this support episode. Yeah, because you just abandoned him for a Griffin. But yeah, again, this is why, in a way, it's sort of fitting that he releases Minerva for his promotion. And yeah, so in fact, promoting him to Griffin Rider actually feels like a pretty nice choice.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a little weird.
Really?
But apparently that's not it.
What?
So it seems that Jerome and Shersh are both Wyvern Whisperers. I like how they're actually emphasizing the friendship between Rider and Mount here. They don't really do that with a lot of mounted classes in Fire Emblem games in the past. So it's interesting they're actually finally addressing that. I mean, many of the Pegasi in earlier Fire Emblem games did have names.
Oh my.
Florin's Pegasus hilariously had a mistranslated name at one point. But yeah, this is...
Greetings.
I'm pretty sure they've actually explored the Mount Rider relationship in some of the earlier games in the series in a few obscure support conversations, but it's pretty much front and center here.
What? No,
That's your dad, Jerome.
Yes. Ah, yes.
Yeah, Jerome realizes that this is an alternate timeline. Technically, this Virion hasn't become Jerome's father yet. And, well, the Virion in the alternate timeline is dead.
Ravishing.
That's a...
Pathetic. Ugh. Do tell. Huh?
Well, as we can see, Jerome's not quite as angsty as he likes to make out. Given that he, well, calls Minerva that. As for some other supports, we have Owain and Lon'qu's A, Vakencrom C, Olivia and Inigo B. In fact, Inigo has Bs with both of his parents, so, might do the parent and child, and, Nara and Noe, and Tharia and Wa. Yeah. I've got a lot of parent-child supports to go through, so let's start with the Inigo ones.
What?
This is your last dance.
Yeah, she just happened to be hiding in a barrel. You know, if Olivia wants to learn how to not be obvious when sneaking up on people, she should talk to Kellum.
No hard feelings?
Oh.
And here's where you find out something really interesting about Inigo. I promised that we'd reveal this later on, and apparently Olivia's the reason why he flirts with people.
Huh?
Hey there.
So here's how it happened. Yeah. It might not be obvious, but when he was young, Inigo was very shy. He asked his mother how to be more comfortable around people. And she said the fastest way to practice bravery was to talk to women.
Was that alright?
Well...
Unfortunately, that advice backfired horribly, and Inigo took it way too far.
Quite.
And then he turned into a philanderer.
Sorry.
Philanderer. I was about to say philanthropist, that would be weird.
Hmm?
Inigo trains by flirting. Well, it has helped him be a little bit less shy. And we're back to not seeing him dance. We'll get the reasons for that one later.
Eh?
Once again, he's using cute girls as an excuse. There's something wrong here.
What?
This is kind of interesting with Gregor as his father, because Gregor, yeah, he has been injured before in similar circumstances.
Well... Huh? Need help?
And here's where his character gets even more interesting.
Huh?
This line in particular is why I really like the Henry and Olivia pairing, and I'm really annoyed they ruined the supports in the English version. Because this line here, this makes Inigo to me seem so similar to Henry, because this line describes Henry quite a lot as well.
No hard feelings?
So yeah, that's why I'm annoyed that Henry and Olivia got just so badly ruined in terms of supports in the localization, because I think Henry makes so much sense as Inigo's father, so yeah. Anyway, but that shows that Inigo's character is really interesting. He actually has, as much as it doesn't seem like it at first, he has some of the most depth out of any of the child characters in this game. Speaking of child characters, let's go and get Owain's A with his father, though I'll need to grind up him with Alyssa as well.
Well... Right.
Yeah, thankfully it was the shoulder, not the knee. Wasn't much of a wound to begin with, reminds me of, you call that a wound? Men to me! Yeah, a line a certain commander in a real-time strategy game says when he gets revived after being KO'd. Unintentionally hilarious.
What?
Now, at this point, I'd like to mention something interesting about this support. Well, two things interesting. This is another reason why I like the Lissa and Lon'qu pairing so much, because remember how Lissa got protected by Lon'qu from arrows in her A support? Turns out that the father of Lissa's child died protecting his son in the exact same way. So it really fits Lon'qu in that way, and it adds an interesting parallel. But here's the other interesting thing about this support. This line that's about to show up. So Owain mentions that his father specifically died here. Now, it's possible for Owain's father to be a male avatar, and the male avatar, well, let's just say that it would be a plot hole if they died at some point in the bad future. This line actually is altered if Owain's father is a male avatar, and it's one of the few cases in a support where that happens. Basically, if his father is a male avatar, this line instead says that the avatar was gravely wounded, but not actually killed, and that Owain just never saw him again. It's interesting they actually took the attention to detail here, because it does make a lot of sense. They need to avoid plot holes with the avatar like that.
Yeah.
Basically, every single other father for Owain, this conversation happens exactly the same way, but for the male avatar, it is different.
Thanks.
And finally, we get the reason why Owain acts like he does.
Well...
Yeah, as you may have guessed, Owain's theatrics are mostly an act. He just does it because he finds it fun.
Pardon?
And really, because he's just so proud of his family. I really love this about his character. The whole reason he acts all over-the-top heroic is because his family are heroes to him.
Huh.
Oh no. Oh, that support is just... That's a really heartwarming support. I love that one. Need to get into an A with Lissa now. And... well, let's just continue on with the heartwarming parent supports and not go into the, well... Anyway.
Huh? Huh?
Her dad may have thrown it somewhere, accidentally.
Yeah!
Yeah, Noe once again saying, relax and have some fun.
I'm not scared of you.
Nah, you have already earned your place in this army. You have more than earned your place in this army. You are insane.
I'm with you.
And we have more, yeah, half-breed angst. Like how they mentioned Tarkwell there too.
Sorry.
Yeah, she is very, very young for a Manakete, though given that she is half-human, it's possible that she does age at a bit of a different rate to Noe. Because, yeah, being the same age as most of the other children, which is implied to be a teenager, that's practically a newborn by dragon standards. But then again, I like to think that her being half-human does mean that her age happens differently. That makes any pairings involving her a bit less disturbing.
Oh. Don't overdo it.
That thing about the Dragonstone and it having... yeah, it being hard for someone so young. Considering that a lot of Fate's promos show the Avatar having trouble controlling his dragon transformation.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, no using it to cook meat like Noe you almost did in your supports with Donald. Nice job being a good role model there. And like I said, now time for the less heartwarming family supports.
What? Sorry.
This is a little ironic for two reasons. One, Noir will always have access to the Dark Mage class branch, and two, she can actually inherit a skill that is literally called Hex. But, yeah, she does mention she can use Dark Magic in combat just fine, which begs the question of why doesn't she start out as a Dark Mage? None of the children are Dark Mages, and her being an archer is just bizarre. Okay, I guess it's more those kind of hexes that Tharia uses.
Well, what are you doing?
Interesting. Considering that your future self was kind of an abusive jerk, she probably would have, yeah, used her as an assistant or taught her how to horribly kill people.
No.
That's interesting. I'm pretty sure future Tharia did.
You've got this.
Almost a dark version of Sully's support with her daughter. And with that, we're left with... okay. Mary Sue and Lucina's A, I want to do that one last. I wanted to make sure that I got that unlocked before the next chapter, for reasons that, well, might become apparent. There's also Crom and Morgan A. Yeah, I'll do that at the time too. We have Crom and the Vake C, which is interesting.
Right.
I'd actually never seen this conversation before. Also, after all those supports between the Vake and the Cordelia focusing on training, we finally get to see, Vake actually fighting Crom.
Anyone else?
Oh yeah, you were really close. In fact, I think the last time you were close was when you proposed to Cordelia.
Right. Hey! Hey!
Yeah, constantly fighting against the same opponent, I think that would screw up an amiibo's AI growth, but, yeah. These two obviously aren't amiibos. Everything we own!
No. Hey!
And I'm pretty sure Frederick wouldn't like that. You might want to have a god in mind before you do that, because he's going to make you pick one and pray. and then chop you up with, like, firewood, and then set you on fire.
Yeah, I rule.
That's kind of interesting. I like seeing the best friends actually get supports there. Well, wait, did I say best friends? I meant eternal rivals who are not friends at all. And now is a support that I have been wanting to show for quite a while. And it's fitting that we're doing this when we're going to be heading back into Pledgia for the next chapter.
Oh, hey!
This is the entire reason why I supported these two. This B support is one of my favorites in the game.
Yes, sir. Listen.
So, you might remember from a while ago that Henry used to work for Gangrel. It's possible we could have fought against people he knew.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently we have. Vasto, didn't we... Come on, Teach.
To victory.
You can do it. And he did. Well, we kind of already knew that. Well, this guy had an oddly long death speech for a generic boss, but okay, that's decent, especially the defense. He could really use that. Huh, didn't know that about him. And I didn't know that about him too.
Let's go. Gotcha.
Of course, we already knew Mustafar was definitely sympathetic. Apparently, yeah, Henry was like another part of his family. This is interesting because, again, bias alert, this is another reason why I used to like Henry and Olivia so much, because there's a bit of info on the Japanese-only background website that mentioned how Mustafar actually helped Olivia hide from enemy soldiers during Chapter 10 as well, so... yeah, the fact that Mustafar helped both of them. Campari, I think I remember him too. Didn't he... oh, no critical. That would have been awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like a massive jerk now. But yeah, all those people we thought were monsters, just for being generic bosses, they're not. They were just normal people, and we had to kill them. They had families.
Hey!
But yeah, the enemies we fight aren't just faceless blobs with axes that you use for free experience.
Really? Phew.
So yeah, that support. I really like that support because in a lot of earlier games, you recruit characters from the enemy side, but you've never seen that happen before. A support where it turns out that one of the former enemies actually personally knew a lot of these seemingly generic bosses that you fought, and they were pretty much their friends, and you just cut them down and thought they were completely unsympathetic monsters. It really makes you think about things in a very new light, and that's why, yeah, I find that support really interesting, and And weirdly enough, in the English version, that's one of Henry's few supports that didn't get butchered, so at least I'm glad for that, but it makes me wish some of his other supports were handled better. And now we're just left with these supports, but I'm just wondering, I would actually like to get Morgan and Lucina up to an A as well before this next chapter. And Jerome could use a few extra levels, and he could get some more supports up with his parents, so I might just do maybe, actually, that one skirmish looks good because we'll be able to save an Anna while we're at it. So, one more skirmish. I desperately hope that Morgan and Lucina will get up to an A. And let's see, okay, Lissarin and Owain I need to get up to an A as well. I've been trying to raise Donal and Kellum to an A as well, because I was supporting them early on and then I sort of forgot about it. Anyway. Okay, I just want to show something very, very bizarre about this skirmish here. This warrior boss, for some reason, has a droppable Rex Caliber, even though he can't actually equip it. I don't know why that's the case. Usually bosses only drop weapons that they actually use, so I don't know if this is a glitch or anything, but it's weird. Really weird. Why does he have a Rex Caliber? I mean, it's not, as weird as there's a warrior with a fire tome that sometimes shows up in the arena in Fire Emblem 6, and that definitely is a glitch. And for some reason that warrior can actually use the fire tome. But this guy having Rex Caliber, why? It doesn't make any sense. Here's a quote you wouldn't expect from the Dark Draco Knight. Fine a freaking Lee! It took 2 additional skirmishes to get Lissarin away into an A support. So what I was doing was, to avoid getting too over-leveled while grinding for supports, I just bought Reeking Boxes and summoned Risen in early chapters. So they would be so low-leveled that we got, like, barely any experience from them. But anyway, time for Lissarin Owain's A.
Hey!
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Hmm?
Right.
Yep, she's finally decided to name a weapon.
Wow. Hmm? Hey.
Heart exploding, can't take it. I'm dying. I'm dying.
Huh?
Try to focus.
Hey.
Hoy there.
Hey, thanks. Oh.
I really don't have anything to say to that last line. I don't want to cheapen that. But anyway, Nara and Donal have their big support, and I've got a bunch of other supports there. I also grinded up Donal and Kellum to an A, so let's go with Nara and Donal here.
Let's go.
Huh?
Trust me.
And considering that he has aptitude, yeah, you should be worried.
Oh.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Huh?
Hey.
No problem.
Wow, that got dark quickly. I think that Donald's life must have got really weird after he got married. I can seriously imagine him going back to the farm, and introducing his fiancée to his mother, and going like, hey, this is my fiancée. She might look like this, but she's actually a 1,000-year-old dragon. And then he comes back just, like a few weeks later and goes, hi, this is our daughter from the future. And then his mum just faints. But I guess Donald and Kellum have really weird lives now, so they can just have a friendly conversation together to get away from all that.
Yeah. Hey. No. Huh.
So it basically is berry farming from Pokemon.
What? Amazing.
Again, Donald, you do have, yeah, there are supports, particularly I think Donnie's supports with Muriel, that show that Donald's actually a lot smarter than he realizes. That aptitude skill is kind of an indication that he might have some kind of super learning ability, because he does seem to have some kind of a photographic memory. But yeah, from ages ago, we remember that Kellum told Donnie to change the soil in the pots.
You know me.
Yeah, Kellum has this problem. Even his family barely acknowledges his existence.
Huh? Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you might not want to say it like that. That sounds disturbing.
Okay. Huh?
No, I'm sorry. Donnie already knows everything there is to know about fighting. You couldn't teach him anything. Yeah, I guess Donald and Kellum are probably going to go back to being farmers after the war.
If you say so. I've done it! Let's get her done!
And once again, the strange obsession with pies. Don't know if that was a pie in the Japanese version or not. I know at least one mention of pies actually was a pie in the Japanese version, but most of them weren't. And like I've brought up before, there was one bit in Sully's supports where they mentioned pies when they weren't even talking about food originally. The localizers just love pies for some reason. But anyway, you know, this support's the most generic. I'll do this one first. There's a reason why I ended on these supports. Suddenly, his text box shortened. Actually, you wouldn't have had many memories together because, well, considering your relative age compared to Lucina, you would have been born around, yeah, quite soon before Crom died, so...
What?
Oh no, Gyarados unleashing his true ultimate powers! A little bit older. Again, this is weird if it was Crom, because, again, it's implied that Morgan comes from a third timeline, so there might have been a different timeline where Crom actually did manage to grow older, but again, the bad future, Crom looked pretty much the same way he looked here when he died. But obviously, they have to have a very generic memory for Morgan to remember, because this conversation is the same for any potential father or mother in the case of female Morgan, meaning it could be anyone in the game.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a nice support, but yeah, unfortunately it is generic. I wish there was a little bit of variety with Morgan's fathers, but speaking of Morgan, this support here is actually, this is a Lucina support, not a Morgan support, but Lucina's final support with her sibling is actually very interesting. So last time, Morgan was practicing for... Well, Lucina was making Morgan practice for her death.
Say,
Huh?
Well, he was using it to cut vegetables before.
well,
And by any means, he means killing her and usurping her position as one of the main characters. Which is why he's practicing for her death.
All right.
The moment of truth. Is Gary Stu destined to destroy us all?
Yes.
mm-hmm.
I'm sure he has a lot of plans if it does work.
Now strike!
For once, random combat lines and supports are actually appropriate.
Huh?
We can all breathe a sigh of relief. We're safe. Gary Stu does not have the ultimate power of being the chosen one.
I'm so sorry.
Wait a minute, though. He's a Gary Stu. Of course he'd be the chosen one. Something's not right here. Yeah, he's still a prince. That's bad.
Huh?
No.
Oh! He missed. Right, so we don't have to breathe a sigh of relief. He could still be a chosen one. Guess that's one of the first times we actually see Lucina laugh. If something should happen, not that it will happen, but maybe something might happen, then, yeah, Gary Stu will take over, and then we're all doomed. And I was actually wrong earlier about the fact that Lucina dying on Classic was a game over, because it's actually not. You actually can lose her. She just retreats because she's still important for the story, but yeah, that seems kind of interesting.
I've got this.
I hope we don't forge a future of Gary Stu's making.
Right.
Well, if she's on cooking duty, maybe she can use the falchion to help cut fruit there.
Oh.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Really?
But wait! We are doomed. It's official. That happens with any of Lucina's siblings, but note something. This is what we call gameplay and story segregation. Because... yeah. He still can't use it. It's purely a story thing, so, yeah, it's not actually something that can actually happen in gameplay, which is a little annoying, but, oh well. Now I just need Crom to take that back, otherwise we're in trouble. But here's the support that I wanted to make sure was maxed out before we headed out to the next chapter. Oh no. Well, you see, Mary Sue's ideal outfit is, well, I don't want to describe it, because if I did, your brains would probably implode. It involves lots of fishnet stockings and it's described in the first paragraph of My Immortal. Go read that, it's hilarious.
You have my gratitude. Huh?
Now, unless Mary Sue suddenly gained Ant-Man powers, there's something else at work here.
Right.
Well, I guess Lucina's also her real daughter, as much as I hate to admit it.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder how baby Lucina's doing. She must have been left with the wet nurse for a while now.
All right.
Who you haven't seen for ages now, and have pretty much forgotten about.
Well,
And you won't find out how else they're alike, because this support is completely generic regardless of who Lucina's mother is. So they had to make sure that it works for every mother. So with that, Mary Sue is now at an A support with Lucina. And, yep, the support icon is finally not highlighted. We've gone through every support that we can. There's only one thing left to do. Next time, if I can find it, we'll be heading towards Plegia Castle to get the final gemstone for the emblem, and totally not fall right into Maleficar's evil trap. See you then.